Thank you for tuning in to Serendipity with Sheila, the podcast that helps you align your mission with your passion. As a universal master energy healer, Sheila can help you awaken and align with your true self so you can live the purposeful life you were made for. Let's get started.
Welcome back to Serendipity with Sheila. And I am Sheila B, Tillich, and I am your host today. And I have a wonderful guest speaker. Her name is Shari Lynn, a very dear friend of mine. Shari, welcome to my show.
Thank you so much for having me, Sheila. It's a pleasure to be here in this time with you.
I love it. I love it. Shari, so tell me a little bit about yourself. You know, what would you like to share with my beautiful audience here today? What about your background? What about your background? When will we start with that?
Well, I grew up in Ashtabula, Ohio, of all places. I love it when people ask me, they say, where are you from? And I'm like, I'm from the Andromeda Galaxy, but I landed in Ashtabula, Ohio, of all places. And I think I felt really early on that there was something that I needed to know. So I had a thirst for knowledge, but was not good at school. I just did not ever feel comfortable in the environment at school. My parents divorced when I was 9. My mother, deeply spiritual person. And, I grew up in my teens with her drinking, and then she became sober. So we like really took some deep dives into how to maintain our spiritual side in this human experience. And being around, the AA program all these years, I really had learned a lot very quickly. My mother also was into astrology. My mother and I both are, very much mystics. And I was blessed to be able to have a mother that would open me up to new experiences. And when I was about 16, we started going to the spiritualist church here in Ashtabula, where at one time there were 3 of them in my hometown. And I started to study with Reverend Richard Forfia, and I studied with him for 3 years and was ordained at 26. So in this lifetime, with that desire I felt like I needed to catch up on information. I just dove into anything that was metaphysical. Anything that they didn't teach you about in schools was really where I wanted to put my attention, and learned a lot about past lives and all different types of, healing modalities, energy healing. I mean, any way to stay grounded and be able to navigate this human experience. I at an early age knew that I needed to have some type of foundation. So that's pretty much where that has brought me today here.
Yeah. We have a lot of our backgrounds the same, especially the AA background, being exposed to that, and my own personal story, 37 years in recovery and going through the rooms and stuff like that. And also enlightening, as a spirit and finding our road the same. We really are. We're really on the same path. But I love your crystal healing disc and your Pleiadian Cosmic Healing Disc. What inspired you to create that?
When I was first introduced to the discs, it had to have been back in like 2004, 2005. And I had a brick and mortar metaphysical store here in Ashtabula, right on the lake, on Lake Erie. And a good friend of mine who is all things metaphysical, he was the one that introduced me to the discs. And I would work with him different shows. And we were in Vegas when I first, encountered the discs. And I'm like, what are these? They're beautiful. And he's like, oh, you use them over your field and you can read people with them and they move in direct energy and they clear negative platforms and they're so cool. And he goes, I think you can sell them. So I had all these discs in front of me and I'd pick them up and I'd go like this to people that walked up to the booth and they could feel them and they're like, what are you doing? And so that I had a crash course in an introduction with the discs. And they just became friends and allies and little buddies. And I started selling them in my store, and I had them there for 10 years. And it's just beautiful how their intention of being tools for light workers. These are power tools for light workers. And the woman who originally said she channeled this technology, she called them angel discs, but they're power tools for light workers, and where they'll open the vortexes of light in our hands, because we are light, we are all healers. And they're like portals and doorways into higher dimensions to communicate with your guides, your angels. And this woman was a very smart lady, very deeply spiritual as well, and had a master's degree in mathematics. So she just was very connected with the Divine Mother at the time. And in her books, she always talked about the Divine Mother. And at this time, these discs being originally so connected to such a beautiful light intention, and so deeply connected to the Divine Mother. And I really dove into the Sophian myth, the Gnostic text, and the fact that, you know, we are goddesses and we are working with this, you know, divine feminine goddess energy at this time. It really is a very powerful time to be using this technology. And, you know, Hallie Deering, the woman who originally channeled these tools, she was all about 2020. Mm-hmm. And on my journey, I really dove into what was happening with 2012. And I started researching that way back in '99. And we can really tell now with how the energies and frequencies on this planet have increased. You know, 2012 was a huge shift in the end of linear time. And now, you know, 2020, boy,
I know.
Hallie was on to something there.
Absolutely. I totally relate to the divine feminine. Of course, you know that, and the goddesses and stuff like that. And I'm so grateful how we connected back a few years ago. I'd say about 6, 7, 8 years ago. I can't remember exactly when, but the power since 2012 and the power to 2020 has been so huge for humanity, for everybody, you know, and especially for us. So tell us a little bit about your disc as far as how has it changed for you over the last 20 years? I mean, from when you started to now. I mean, we just talked about, the power, the divine feminine in 2020, but what was it like 20 years ago, or when you first started compared to it now, when you design, especially?
20 years ago, with the discs, they had specific intentions, and there was discs that would take you deeper into meditation. There were also discs that would help you communicate with the White Brotherhood UFOs, in fact, you know. So these discs 20 years ago, they were very powerful, and they had images a lot like this one. Mm-hmm. This is a flower of life image, but they're photographic, transparent images. And just the concept, one of the concepts behind the discs is that, you know, our higher self communicates with us through symbols. So the symbols in the disc are going to help activate cellular memories that are stored in your DNA, so that we're here to remember who we are, where we came from, and why we're here, and our own divinity, awakening to, you know, who we truly are on this ascension process. So the discs at this time have evolved, and you and I connected over the Sophia disc. And the Sophia disc is, I can't believe I don't have one right here. The Sophia disc was the first of the full spectrum healing tools that I was gifted. They, you know, do this, and it was really beautiful how they came about. But what Hallie Deering was really trying to do was she was trying to create what she called a prismatic disc. And she was taking a Merkaba image, and she was taking the arms, the pieces of the Merkaba, and on the transparent image, she was making each one of these pieces of the Merkaba be a different color. So when the light goes through the disc onto the field, it was bringing in the frequency of the entire light spectrum is what she was trying to get through into the field. So I've actually pretty much mastered, perfected, made available what she was trying to do in creating a prismatic disc. And I could feel her energy all around me when it happened, and I'm very grateful to be able to carry on her tradition and hold it in such a place of love and gratitude to be able to bring the evolution of these tools. And what's so nice along with the evolution of these tools is you and anybody who has this tool in their hand, you know, it really does help connect you to your higher self. I always go to 3 because it's up here where we're wanting to connect. And what's nice is, you know, as a collective, we're busy at this time on the planet, and the tools help us stay more in our bodies. They're going to bring us back into the body, because most of the time people we know, especially that are might be struggling at a particular time over something, you know, we know that we don't stay in our bodies when those emotions and all these things take over. We're leaning outside of our field. So one of the things I like to tell people is that these tools help bring you back into your body. And when you're there and you're behind your eyes and you're actually physically in your body, your energy is in your body, it's important so that we're not reacting emotionally or getting entangled into the emotions of other people. So just, you know, any little tool, I love all tools, and they work well with discs. And the most powerful disc is the one in your hand. Like, it by itself does nothing. You know, it's got to be in your hand.
You know, I love that. And now I use the tools in a certain ways for me, because I know intuitively what they tell me to do. How would you advise somebody who's brand new in this energy field to use them, to actually tap into the energy with them? What would you advise? How would you advise them to use them?
Your intention, applied attention to working with this tool, any tool for that matter, is the driving force behind the intent, matched with the pairing it, I suppose, with your intuition. And when you're working on other people, especially tuning in to that empathic nature, your intuition, and what's happening empathically. When we have this tool between, like when we have our fingers on the edge of the copper, it creates this positive and negative charge within our own electromagnetic field. I have a field and you have a field. You know, we have all these subtle fields that are surrounding us, and those fields connect to the biohuman field. It makes up the biohuman field, spiritual energy system. All of these different energy systems around us connect to the physical body. The biohuman field connects to the physical body. So when we have this tool in between us, my field and your field are connected with the tool. And as we're scanning somebody's body, we're going to be able to pick up empathically things that might be going on. Like, and it's funny because I do this with people all the time. And if I'm standing in front of them, my left hip will hurt, but it's on their right side that I'm picking it up. And what's interesting when working with it, you have to pay attention. You want to pay attention to the data sets that are coming in. How am I feeling? What do I start thinking? You know, and being aware of how the energy field around you naturally moves, and that you have these vortexes of energy within your own system. Well, we know that Kundalini energy moves the chakras in the opposite directions, and chakras have a front and chakras have a back, you know. So it's like understanding the way that the energy moves through our field, and paying attention to what's happening while we're in the presence of this tool is really going to help you be able to move the emotional things that will come up and out of the field. It'll give, it's a tool to enhance the traumas. I hadn't mentioned that yet, but that was one of the really big intentions set for the use of these power tools, was to heal love trauma, to clear and heal love trauma, sexual traumas, past life traumas, emotional traumas, all these things, because when we carry that, we'll even carry them in from past lives, these traumatic events that have happened. We'll carry it in our energy signature within the soul when we reincarnate. So the tools are fascinating and, beautiful little allies to help bring that out, because not only, are we working on the zones and meridians of the body, where we are powerful conscious creators, and we're powerful beings. Everything that we need to heal ourselves is within ourselves, and we're here to assist in humanity's ascension. We're all in this game together. There's not any soul on this planet that's not in an ascension process right now. So it's a really beautiful tool to be able to be aware of our own energy and those around us.
Oh my God, Shari, I love it.
Here's your sign to register and save your seat for the next Lightworkers Connection Circle. The Lightworkers Connection Circle is about living your soul's purpose as a lightworker and connecting with others who are on the same spiritual path. It is a sacred and safe harbor group of lightworkers who are connecting, encouraging, empowering, and supporting human kindness together. The Lightworkers Connection Circle is led by Universal Master Healer Sheila Tillich and takes place on the first and third Tuesdays of every month. To save your seat, head on over to sheilatillich.com/lightworkers-connection-circle. You can also find the link to register in the show notes of this episode. Now back to you, Sheila.
I love how you explain things, and it's a lot like I do. And I have a lot of personal stories of my using my disc, but do you have any personal or testimonials of that you can remember how you've used these discs to help people? Would you like to share any of those personal stories?
I have a lot of stories that come to me from people that are just fascinating. I mean, for me, I've had discs around me for almost 20 years now. And, when they first came into my awareness, I really didn't understand how they worked. And, still, there's so many mysterious things that happen with them. There's very auspicious things that happen with people. Healings are taking place. I can share a couple of them. I have a lady who became a friend through discs. She first, her first experience with a disc was the accelerator disc.
One of my favorites.
Oh, I know. It's one of my favorites too. This is my version of a take of a disc that Hallie was doing as well, and I've kind of amped it up for our energy now. But this one heals cellular and nerve damage. This is a gold back disc where it will flash that and move that light through the field, and you can really feel them over your hands. This one works really good on the back of the head, and all these energy centers going on from the medulla oblongata to the third eye. Really powerful experiences with it. But this woman, this was her first disc, and she was in a skiing accident, and she had not let go of the poles during the accident, and she has nerve damage in her wrist really badly. And she bought this disc because her job was to type online books, like she did medical books. She would transcribe books, write books online. And after she received the disc, she said that it really did increase the amount of time she was able to work online. So that was one of the first testimonials I got. But then we also have very auspicious happenings with the discs as well. I have a version of a Tesla disc, Nikolai Tesla. It's the Nikolai Tesla Violet Ray Transformer disc. And when I was in Chicago, there was this group of ladies that I met that were doing, group healings and really, diving into some deep work. And he got a hold of me and she said, I'm really kind of freaked out. She goes, but I got to tell you what happened. And she said that they had placed the disc in front of a mirror within the circle that they were working in, doing healings and meditations. And she said that everyone in the group actually saw Tesla materialize in the mirror in front of them. So, little auspicious things that happen with them. They're just a joy to have around too. It's like they're little allies.
They are. Well, for me, I've used them from the very beginning, and in my practice and in the sessions. And I've always known I wanted you to help me design my own. And it wasn't the right time over the years. And now it's the time. Oh my goodness. And
This is the time.
I am just so excited. And I'm so thankful for you that you've helped me develop my own line of crystal healing disc. And I'm very, very grateful. And I want to send my gratitude to you right now, dear sister. Like, it's really good
to work with you on that level. And what's so nice is, your energy is embodied within these pieces.
Exactly.
And it's only going to grow and get better and be stronger. And your goddess oval piece, I just think is a treasure. And it will be such a personal piece for people. And I just love the evolution of being able to work with artists, healers, different practitioners, because that amplifies very much the intention of what the discs are to do.
Exactly.
And they become very personal, portable, practical, pretty tools that you can take with you. So
I love my disc, and my goddess disc, of course, is my actual signature of who I am as far as my own purpose on this earth. And it connects in the galactic realm and also the Mother Gaia realm. So we've got the goddess, the divine goddess, the Shaw woman that I am, and also my ancestral line from the galactic and how we're all connected. So I'm just so very, very, very grateful to be able to have you in my life and your talents to be able to do this, and all the people that you help with these beautiful discs. And I adore your disc. I have so many of my own, which over the years. I'm just so grateful to you. So thank you for living your life purpose, and the serendipity, how we met, this show being Serendipity with Sheila, and it's true. It's like we're all lined up to do this work together and at the right time, the divine time, as I always say.
Exactly. We all know we don't have to, all I got to do is look out the front door and know that it's time to make changes and do things. And what's nice about this is like, it's kind of radical because it's a progressive technology, but it's a beautiful energy to be working in, to make a change on what I would consider, it's not radical, but I guess it's a radical change.
Well, society thinks so. It's always been, but now it's part of the norm. It's like this consciousness awareness that we all have, and everything's changing, and the understanding, and how can we heal ourselves, in a very profound way.
We're going to see at this time, I mean, in the future, which is the very near future, and the future that we are creating, and it's one without the control, without the systems are crumbling, and it's an opportunity for us to create new ways of being and healing And all of this is such, it's in our hands right now. It's why, discs, it's the future in our hands. And the number one, we're going to see an insurgence. Anybody wants to have a future in helping people, it's going to be mental health. Because we're really at a place, that we have to take care of ourselves, and it is more the mind-body connection now than ever before.
Oh, absolutely.
And, yeah. So it's beautiful to be connected with not just you, but so many now that, discs are all across the globe. They are everywhere, so it's very nice that we have this light grid, even in just the palm of our hand, that we're connected to at all these times. And I'm so grateful for you. I'm so happy for you. And I look forward to just keep creating with you.
I know. I love it, Shari. I love it. So how can our listeners find out more about you? Can you share your website address and also any events that are happening in the next year?
Sure. The website, you can find out more about the discs. It's Cosmic Healing Discs, and it's DISCS, no K, and it's cosmichealingdiscs.com. You can find me on Instagram, and it's Shari Lynn, SHARILYNN 212, which is my birthday. So Shari Lynn 212 on Instagram. And really, I'm encouraging people, as we're, well into 2020 now, 2022, to reach out to me and talk to me personally if you're interested in discs. We can discuss it. People we like to take our mind and make things complicated. The discs are not complicated. It's kind of like the disc picks the mystic, the disc pick them, and so just really good and in tune with that to help you, get something that's really going to be working in and on whatever it is that you're trying to release. So I'm encouraging people to contact me directly, and you can do so through email, and you can find that on the website as well. And thank you so much. I look forward to talking more with you and all of the wonderful ladies that I have met through you. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Shari, for spending this time together. I adore you. Thank you. Thank you, dear sister. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending this time with us for yourself. Any moment we spend healing ourselves is a moment spent healing humanity. And I invite you to join me each week as we dive into topics that will help you align your mission with your passion.